The terrorists killed a Navy SEAL. The U.S. military headquarters immediately issued an order to dispatch the Navy SEALs stationed in Afghanistan to hunt down and kill the leader of the terrorist organization with all their might. However, the 16 Special Forces soldiers on the mission, without cover from armed helicopters, conducted a hovering rope descent. As a result, they were hit by a single RPG fired by the terrorists, and all 16 Special Forces soldiers were killed on the spot. This was the most devastating operation the Navy SEALs had ever suffered. Originally, it was just supposed to be a simple infiltration and reconnaissance mission. Based on reliable intelligence, the headquarters learned the whereabouts of the terrorist organization's leader and immediately dispatched 2 transport aircraft, which, under the cover of armed helicopters, flew to the target location under the cover of darkness. Navy SEALs quickly descended to the ground by rope and walked to the mission location to carry out the reconnaissance task. Soon, the 4 reached the outer observation point. The team leader immediately used binoculars for surveillance and quickly spotted the target. The soldier in charge of communications took out the radio communication equipment to contact the headquarters for instructions on the next step. However, due to the dense trees in the jungle, the satellite signal was lost, making it impossible to contact the headquarters. The team didn't dare to act on their own and could only hide in the bushes, continuing to try to contact the headquarters while drawing the layout of the armed base's defenses. But just then, the soldier in charge of communications noticed several shepherds appearing on the opposite side. To avoid causing trouble, the 4 could only hold their breath to prevent revealing their position, but one shepherd accidentally stepped on a team member's ankle. The Navy SEALs had no choice but to rush out of the bushes and quickly took control of the shepherds. The team leader found a walkie-talkie on one of the shepherds. This meant they were likely informants for the terrorist organization. With no other option, the team leader had to take the risk of using an unencrypted satellite phone. Although they successfully contacted the headquarters, the signal was intermittent, and it was impossible to clearly hear what the other side was saying. In the end, the team leader decided to let the shepherds go, unaware that this decision would make them pay a heavy price. Since their position had been exposed, the team had to move towards the mountaintop to find a high ground and contact the headquarters to request evacuation. However, after climbing all the way to the mountaintop, the radio still showed no signal. But since the mountaintop was completely exposed and made them an easy target, the team leader immediately decided to withdraw back into the woods to hide. However, as soon as the team withdrew into the woods, the team leader discovered that a large number of armed militants had arrived at the mountaintop and were conducting a thorough search in the woods. Seeing that their whereabouts had been exposed, the team leader had no choice but to order an active attack.